I remember teaching my ACT lab, the forehand series. And I had a kid tell me that it helped her in her basketball game. And she
Yeah.
said, I remembered the high low. She's talking about, she goes, man, this is really neat. And it's to me, I think it's that real special experience when you get to share that with somebody that's not necessarily a Filipino martial artist, but they
Mm-hmm.
see the value, shows you the level of trust that they have with you. And it shows you the level of commitment that they have to self-improvement, I think, which is why working with kids is so cool, because I really do think the kids want to have good days at school. They want to have good days with their teachers. And so then when you offer something that's like kind of outside the box like that, it's really special, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then when you have adults that are taking time out of their day, they could be at home watching Netflix, or they could be watching, something on TV. They say, "Hey, I find a value in doing this." That's really that's really important. I think that's super special.
Absolutely. And the very fact that they take their time out of their day to come, right? And then
Yeah.
I remember having Kent Nelson on the show, and he
Oh,
brought up,
awesome.
yeah, you know
Kent's
Kent,
great.
he is great.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
he had brought up the fact that, well, for every adult that you have in your class, you also need to acknowledge the fact that they might have drove 30 minutes there, 30 minutes back. So
Yeah.
every time, for every hour on the mat, that's 2 hours out of their life. And
That's
that
right.
it's true, right? And that
Yeah.
hit me hard. And I looked at my students a little bit differently that
Yeah.
time because, sometimes you get used to just going in an ebb and flow. So,
I always, I kind of remind myself, and I love that Kent said it like that, because I had a kid one time that their parent came in to conferences, and they had to take a day off of work to come see me and talk to conferences. And I tried to make that very, very positive. And one of the teachers, when I left the building, she made a comment, and she goes, "You're always so nice. And why are you always so nice?" And I said, "Well, because that parent that you just met had to take a day off of work and had to take an Uber up here." And I said, if you don't respect what people the time that they're spending and the money that they're spending to
mhm.
get up there, it just, you kind of lose something.
Yeah.
You have to, I appreciated that. I think they said Michael Jordan used to comment that when people were playing, that when he was playing, he understood that there was somebody who was seeing him for the first time, and there was somebody who had spent a lot of money that maybe they didn't have to go see him. And so
Hmm.
he was going to give that absolute best commitment. And I always kind of remind myself that I think, especially with adult students, a lot of them are there for growth, even if they know it or not. I've had a lot of students share with me their whys, which is really special.
Hmm.
And I always remind myself that I'm the person that they're trusting with their growth too. And I can't help them grow if I'm not trying to grow myself,
Yeah,
which
brother.
is my commitment to training and working on things. And then also, I can't help them grow if I'm not grateful for that experience myself. I think I love how Kent said that. That's really cool.
Yeah, me too. Me too. And I mean, I try to acknowledge it, but that hit me hard and everything. And I
Yeah,
try to
absolutely.
remember that piece.